Motorcycles don't usually die in some epic crash or because the factory messed up. They die slowly, from the dumb stuff riders do every day. Skip checks, lazy habits, and little bits of neglect that snowball into breakdowns at the worst possible time. Today, we're talking about the dumbest reasons bikes fail, costing riders hundreds or even thousands, all because of habits they could fix in minutes. Let's see if you're guilty of any of these. Neglecting chain maintenance. Your chain is one of the most abused parts of your bike. It spins at incredible speeds, handles huge amounts of torque, and is blasted with road grit, dust, rain, and sometimes salt. And yet, so many riders sit and forget it until they hear a strange metallic clunk or feel a jerk in the rear wheel. When you don't clean and lubricate your chain regularly, the dirt acts like sandpaper, causing wear and tear. Over time, it grinds away at the rollers, stretches the links, and wears down your sprockets. Once a chain starts to stretch unevenly, it's impossible to fix. It'll keep wearing faster until it eventually fails. The worst part is when that failure happens at speed. A snapped chain can whip into your leg, crack your engine case, or lock up the rear wheel and throw you off. It's not just a mechanical failure, it's a safety hazard. A proper clean and lube every 800 to 1,000 kilometers takes 15 minutes and costs less than a coffee. Yet riders skip it, only to fork out $200 to $500 for a new chain and sprockets. Some even end up replacing swing arm sliders and engine casings after a violent break. All for a job you can do with a rag, a brush, and a $10 can of chain lube. Here's a quick pause to ask for a big favor. Help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Your subscription means a lot to me and motivates me to keep creating videos like this one. Ignoring tire pressure. Tires are the only thing between you and the road. Two small contact patches that decide your grip, braking, and handling. And still, many riders check tire pressure about as often as they check their lottery numbers. Here's the thing. Underinflated tires flex more, generating excess heat and wearing out faster, while overinflated tires lose grip and feel twitchy. The Motorcycle Industry Council has found that improper tire pressure is a leading cause of motorcycle accidents related to equipment failure. Performance takes a huge hit, too. Underinflation messes with your suspension geometry, making your bike harder to steer and less stable at speed. Overinflation reduces traction during braking and cornering. Fuel efficiency also drops noticeably when your pressures are off. And here's a real-world example. A rider in California ignored his low-pressure warning for weeks. The constant flexing caused the sidewall to weaken until it finally blew out on the freeway at 65 miles per hour. He survived, but the bike didn't, and it all came down to a 2-minute check he kept putting off. Tires can lose 1 to 2 psi a month just from sitting, and in cold weather you lose around 1 psi for every 10-degree Fahrenheit drop in temperature. That means if you set your pressure perfectly in August, by December, you could be dangerously underinflated without riding a single mile. Checking your tires with a $15 gauge takes less than a minute. Compare that to the cost of a $400 tire replacement, or worse, an emergency room visit, and it's the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. Skipping oil changes or using the wrong oil. Think of oil as your bike's blood. It's what keeps the engine cool, lubricated, and clean. Ignore it, and you're asking for trouble. Dirty or degraded oil loses its ability to protect moving parts, leading to metal-on-metal wear that shortens engine life dramatically. Motorcycle engines work far harder than car engines. They rev higher, run hotter, and often share their oil with the transmission and clutch. That means the oil has to deal with more heat, friction, and contamination. Manufacturers recommend changes every 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers, for good reason. Stretching your oil change intervals 'cause the bike still feels fine is like skipping dentist appointments 'cause your teeth don't hurt yet. You won't notice the damage until it's too expensive. And using cheap car oil is even worse. Car oils often contain friction modifiers that make a wet clutch slip, leading to poor acceleration and reduced control. Replacing a clutch can cost $500 to $800, and rebuilding an engine because you ran it with bad oil can cost thousands. In contrast, an oil change with quality motorcycle-rated oil costs $30 to $60 and takes less than an hour. Poor battery care. Motorcycle batteries don't usually die of old age. They die of neglect. Leaving your bike for weeks without a charger slowly drains the battery. When the voltage drops too low, the lead plates form sulfate, and the battery loses its ability to hold a charge. Cold weather makes things worse. A half-charged battery can freeze in sub-zero temperatures, permanently damaging it. In hot climates, a neglected battery can dry out internally, causing early failure. A quality motorcycle battery lasts 4 to 5 years with proper care, but only 1 to 2 years if you neglect it. Their replacement costs $80 to $200, plus the inconvenience of a dead bike. The fix is incredibly simple. A $30 to $40 trickle charger or battery tender. Plug it in when you're not riding for more than a week, and you'll extend your battery's life dramatically. It's one of the cheapest and easiest maintenance habits there is. Overloading the bike. Every motorcycle has a gross vehicle weight rating, the maximum combined weight of the rider, passenger, luggage, and accessories. Go over it, and you're overstressing every structural and suspension component on your bike. Overloading isn't just about packing too much luggage for a trip. It's also about piling on heavy accessories, crash bars, metal panniers, top boxes, extra lighting, and large windshields. All of it adds up, and if you put too much weight on the rear, you reduce front-end traction, making steering sluggish and unstable. Over time, overloading can lead to blown shocks, bent rims, cracked subframes, and accelerated tire wear. In extreme cases, it can even cause handling problems that lead to accidents. Check your GVWR in the owner's manual, subtract your weight and your passengers, and see what's left for gear. You might be surprised how easy it is to exceed the limit without realizing it. Not warming up the engine properly. Engines need a proper warm-up to operate at their best. When cold, oil is thick and takes longer to reach critical components. Revving hard in this state increases friction and wear. On the flip side, idling your bike for 10 minutes before riding isn't good either. It causes uneven heating and can lead to fuel dilution, where unburned fuel washes oil from cylinder walls. The correct approach is simple. Start your bike, let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds, then ride gently until it reaches normal temperature. This gets the oil circulating and warms the engine under light load, minimizing wear. Ignore this and you're shortening the life of your piston rings, cylinder walls, and bearings, parts that aren't cheap to replace. Ham-fisted shifting. Gearboxes are tough, but they're not indestructible. Slamming through gears without using the clutch or lazily slipping the clutch excessively can cause major wear. Missed shifts where the gear doesn't fully engage damage the gear dogs, making the bike pop out of gear under load. Clutch abuse overheats and warps clutch plates, making shifts rough and inconsistent. Even a single botched downshift at high RPM can send shock loads through the transmission that leave lasting scars on the components. A worn clutch might cost $500 to $800 to replace. A damaged gearbox, easily $1,500 to $3,000, and all because of poor shifting technique. Practice smooth, precise shifts. Use the clutch properly unless you've mastered clutchless shifting for upshifts, and never force the lever if the gear doesn't engage immediately. The smoother your inputs, the longer your transmission will last, and the more enjoyable your rides will be. Cheap aftermarket parts. Saving money on critical parts is a gamble you don't want to take. Cheap brake pads can fade or fall apart under hard braking. Low-quality chains stretch quickly or snap under load. Knockoff levers can bend or break when you need them most, leaving you stranded or, worse, unable to brake or shift when it matters. OEM parts or reputable aftermarket brands cost more because they're tested for safety and durability. Manufacturers design these parts to meet or exceed factory tolerances, and that difference can be the line between a safe ride and a mechanical failure. Non-critical items like mirrors, bar-end weights, or cosmetic trim are fine for budget shopping, but never compromise on brakes, suspension, or drivetrain parts. In the long run, the cheap route often ends up being the most expensive, both in money and in safety. Ignoring weird noises and smells. Strange noises and smells are your bike's way of asking for help. Squealing brakes, rattling chains, clunking steering, burning oil smells. These are warning signs, not background noise. Addressing issues early might mean a quick adjustment or $50 repair. Ignore them, and you could end up with warped rotors, blown head gaskets, or seized bearings. Repairs costing hundreds or thousands. I've seen riders dismiss a faint rattle for months, only to discover it was a loose cam chain tensioner on the verge of catastrophic failure. Make it a habit to inspect your bike regularly. Pay attention to changes in sound, smell, or feel, and don't ride through a problem hoping it'll go away. If in doubt, have a trusted mechanic check it before your next ride. It's far cheaper than a breakdown on the road. Riding with low coolant or ignoring overheating. Coolant is vital for keeping liquid-cooled engines at safe operating temperatures. Low coolant reduces the system's ability to transfer heat, leading to overheating. Old coolant loses its anti-corrosion additives, causing internal rust and scale buildup that can clog narrow cooling passages. Ignore an overheating bike, and you risk warped cylinder heads, blown gaskets, and engine seizure. These are repairs easily in the $1,000 to $3,000 range, and once metal components warp, no amount of coolant will undo that damage. Check coolant levels monthly and flush the system according to your manual. If the temperature gauge climbs into the danger zone, pull over and fix the problem before riding again. Keep in mind that overheating can also point to other issues, like a failing water pump or stuck thermostat, so it's worth investigating thoroughly. Incorrect storage. Improper storage is slow-motion destruction for your bike. Leaving it outside without a cover exposes it to UV rays, rain, and temperature swings. Paint fades, plastics become brittle, and metal parts corrode. In colder climates, freezing and thawing can cause seals to crack and fuel lines to stiffen, leading to leaks. Even in a garage, dust and humidity can cause damage over time. A breathable cover keeps your bike clean and dry, while winterizing prevents rust, fuel system clogs, and dead batteries. Storing the tires off the ground or slightly overinflated can also prevent flat spots during long rests. A well-stored bike looks better, lasts longer, and holds its value. Neglect storage and you'll be dealing with stuck brakes, rusty fasteners, and cosmetic damage that costs more to fix than to prevent. The best riders respect their bikes. They follow the maintenance schedule, check their machines before rides, and fix problems while they're small. Your bike can give you years of unforgettable rides if you take care of it. Ignore it, and it'll break at the worst possible time, for the dumbest possible reason. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more motorcycle tips, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ride. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.